I had turned this whole idea that the distinction between cleverness and wisdom, I tried to simplify it by saying we learn in this life. That is, we become acquainted to deal with conditions which might arise tomorrow, which didn't arise yesterday. We get used to dealing with change, and I'm very glad to see that a lot of Australians are asking this question. Things are changing, how do we deal with them? Well, the children of Perth heard that I had been talking about this learning equation, that I call it. I say learning consists in two things: what other people tell you and what you may think up for yourself. That's a very simple way of putting it. But day after day you can be attending lectures, you can even be watching me on television for that, or video for that matter. You can be picking up ideas you get from other people, and they may be helpful. But if you say, this man or this woman understands so much about this topic that I needn't start asking myself fresh questions, you're in trouble. And the school children of Perth somehow found that I had been talking about action learning. Learning equals P, programmed instruction, plus Q, questioning insight. L equals P plus Q. These kids had been picking this up, and they met the children from other schools and said, look, we should be thinking about our school syllabus and having much more chance to ask questions than we're getting at the moment. And they wrote a paper called the Q Factor Centre, which they sent to the Ministry of Education, saying what we should be doing in school is giving a lot more time to questioning. And this has led to many things. The Ministry of Education sent the paper that these children had written to me in Manchester. I said, marvellous to think that here are these youngsters, aged between, I think, 13 and 17, saying, how do we develop our questioning insight? By building a Q Factor Centre. And I showed the paper that they had written to a lot of people from Leningrad, the United States, at a big international conference, and said, you write from Leningrad to Perth, or from Cincinnati to Perth, or from Stockholm to Perth, because it's only if your children exchange their ideas with the other children that true learning will take place. So what I'm hoping is that action learning adds to traditional learning, to traditional education, this positive interest in how do I ask myself fresh questions. It's quite true. Before I can answer the question, before I can find the answer to the question, either by going to somebody who I think might know the answer, or turning to the encyclopedia and looking up the answer there, before I can expect to get the question answered, I have to discover what is the relevant question to put. This may be a bit difficult to explain, but I think the difference between action learning and traditional education is that action learning puts the first emphasis upon what it is you don't know and how you explore this ignorance of yours in order to say, now these are the questions which I should put, now I want the help of other people to answer the questions, or I must go to the library to get the answer.